once again, had a few spare moments before I have to do adult type activities, so I thought I'd talk a little bit about some music. What you're listening to here is, in the background, Skypig, Hell is Inside You. This came out on Transylvania Tapes, one of my favorite tape labels right now. Caligari obviously is up there. Sticker and a little button. Kind of cool. With their logo. Skypig, this is a 4-song. I think this is considered EP. These guys are out of Oakland, California. And Purple Cassette. I'd say a mixture of Sabbathy type riffs, some sludgy I Hate God type riffs thrown in there, and maybe some psychedelic crowbar, if that's a fitting description. But 4 songs, again, just the right amount of music lately for some of these releases. It's nice to see bands aren't wearing out their welcome, know their sweet spots, and so I'll link to this below and to Transylvanian Tapes page. Good stuff, great label. Next up we have Necrosis. This is from a band called Leprophiliac. Tried looking it up, no idea what it is. Got conflicting messages on Google about what it really is. These guys are out of Spain. If you remember, I talked about Caustic Wound in one of my previous videos about the black and white everywhere. But this, and how that's typically like a grind format, it seems. But these guys do have a little bit of grind, but mostly death metal, D-beat, I would say a little bit of experimentation type music in there. The recording is very minimal. It sounds like these two guys just recorded this kind of in their basement. And when I say that, I don't mean it's like 90s lo-fi black metal. The quality is pretty good. You can kind of tell there's some imperfections there, which is a good thing, right? Not every release has to be perfect. And when you are recording this kind of music, it actually adds to the ambiance of the sound. Disturbing face melt, or decay there. The jaw is actually down here. You probably can't see. Head's up there. So this came out on Rescue for Life Records, a newer label, not that familiar with. But yeah, another solid release here. Something, again, 9 songs. Hits the sweet spot. I know what I'm after. I like all the elements they have, and then I can move on. I don't have to listen to an hour of this. It's, again, I talked about my death metal tastes are starting to change, I think. It just takes a lot, and that includes black metal. It takes a lot to really pull me in. So if I'm purchasing some of this stuff, there's some element to it that caught me. Next up, we have a release on Maggot Stomp Records, another one of my favorite Midwestern kind of grindy slam metal type labels. This is, I'm going to butcher the name, Sanguisugabogg, Pornographic Seizures. Again, I don't Maggot Stomp, great label. Something's in the water in Ohio. I've been talking about Ohio a lot more than I ever have recently. Ohio's a couple states away from me, but grind and slam has always been very popular in the Midwest, even when I was in high school. A band like Devourment, right? They could play a show anywhere around here, and people would show up in droves. Again, grind, death metal. Not much to compare it to. This came out in 2019, 4 songs. But you have a title of an album or an EP called Pornographic Seizures, and you have songs called like Turkish Blood Orgy. You know what you're getting: slam, unintelligible, brutal vocals, loud guitars, loud drums, slam beats, and then after about 10 minutes, it's over. But this release, I think, stands apart from the rest in that there's subtle melodies in it, and not it's something you have to listen to a few times before you know it. Some of the riffs are going to stick in your head. I mean, that's what sets apart Sanguisugabogg. I don't know. I'll put a link below. You can try to figure it out yourself. But that's what sets them apart from the others. Finally, we have kind of a weird release out on Metal Storm. Excuse me, recordings. This is Purification out of Portland, Oregon. The reason I think it's weird is it's kind of marketed and advertised as a cult doom death rock blue cassette. I don't like, every time I talk about doom or whatever, I feel like I mentioned Black Sabbath. There's an obvious Sabbath influence here, but obviously like a Blue Oyster Cult, psychedelic 13th floor elevator ambiance to this release. And you can see all three members signed the release. So if you're a fan of the occult type mythos, if you will, it's a quality release. 8 songs out of Portland, Oregon, as I mentioned. They send all kinds of extras, stickers, patch. I thought this was kind of funny. The stickers aren't their logo, but it's actually, they were a 2-piece at one time. It looks like a Polaroid picture, but it's actually a sticker. When I say Polaroid picture, it makes me think of that Outcast song. But they also sent a handwritten letter, or a typed up letter with an autograph at the bottom from Lord Cantor. Apparently he's the leader of the band. I'm not going to read all of this, but it's allegedly from Brazil, which we know it's not because they're from Oregon. Talking about the psyop wing of their great or the arm of heaven, about being a devoted follower, stuff like that. It's kind of goofy, but kind of cool in a way. I like it when bands take themselves not so seriously, but seriously at the same time, if that makes any sense to you all. But yeah, this tape was pretty limited. I don't know how I jumped on it right when it came out, just because I thought it sounded good. The one song I heard, I think it was The Forage. But yeah, it's good stuff. Pink and blue, creative colors again, adding into that psychedelic theme, if you will. But I'll link it below, like I do everything else. You can check them out for yourself. If you're not a fan of like a cult psychedelic, Pink Floyd, Blue Oyster Cult with more Sabbath thrown in, and a lot of weirdness, you might want to skip this if you're more of a Death Doom head. But if that's up your alley, definitely check out Purification. That's all I have for today. Might do some more videos later on this weekend. I did get the Winter Phylith box set from the new release, The Reckoning Dawn. I'd like to talk about that soon. I did get the new Coulter Wall album as well. I'm going to dive into that this weekend if I have time. Coulter Wall, up and coming traditional country artist out of Canada. Huge fan. I know a lot of metalheads like him too, so I'll try to dive into that here in the next few days. So hope you all are doing well and have a good one.